So it talks about the executive board having an oversight function. It talks about the evaluation office providing global leadership. The evaluation office provides guidelines, sets standards, and so on. It also conducts a number of global level evaluations every year, which are reported directly to the executive board. And there's also direct accountability or reporting line to the executive director. By far, the largest number of evaluations in UNICEF are conducted at the country office level. About 90% of all evaluations are conducted there. The regional offices also conduct some evaluations. Country offices plan for these evaluations in the context of evaluation plans that may cover a year or 4 or 5 year period, and they commission the evaluations. So they manage the evaluations and they basically outsource the conduct of evaluations to consultants. Country offices are accountable directly to the regional director as far as the evaluation function is concerned, and the regional director, him or herself, is accountable to the executive director. All decentralized evaluations are reported in a global database. They are basically, this is a mandatory process. All evaluations have to be posted globally and are picked up there and rated. So similar to UNDP, we have a rating system. It's called GIROS, the Global Evaluation Reports Oversight System. And the rating is published essentially. Different country offices can see how they're faring compared with others. And this provides a kind of incentive, carrot and stick, I suppose. Country offices are making, clearly since the system was introduced, making quite an effort to look better at least, and to produce evaluations that that score a higher rating. In terms of capacity, most country offices have a PME section, and in that PME section they have M&E officers or M&E specialists, and the strategy sets out a range of commitments. These commitments relate to defining oversight for the evaluation function. This is a relatively new thing. I mean, we've basically found that in the past, senior management would focus, let's say, primarily on the conduct of evaluation to the extent that they focused at all on evaluation. Now, in a sense, there's a requirement really to look at an evaluation function, to look at evaluation in broader terms in terms of an enabling environment, an institutional framework, individual capacities, and so on. It stresses also the importance of the integration of evaluation in RBM and the importance of, in a sense, ex-ante evaluation design. So really thinking about evaluation as you plan your programs. It elevates evaluation to a much more strategic level. The requirement is that the representatives of UNICEF get involved in the evaluation planning process and that they decide what is in and what is not in. It's not a kind of default arrangement that, whatever kind of bubbles up through the program sections, in a sense, makes it on the evaluation plan. No, a strategic decision, in a sense, is made as to how the country office is going to demonstrate results within a program period. So again, senior level involvement. It clarifies the whole range of processes, roles, where the money is going to come from. And it institutionalizes the use of reference groups. I mean, this is perhaps normal in some UN agencies. In UNICEF, it certainly wasn't a standard practice to have a reference group for each evaluation. So that has been put in place now. And we've also instituted a review process for all, how should I put it, like milestones within the evaluation process in terms of reference, inception reports, draft reports. So all of them have to be reviewed by the regional office, and not only by the evaluation advisor, but also by the respective program section. And this task, in fact, has now been outsourced. So we have an external company that is receiving all of these documents from the region and is providing an assessment, essentially a kind of rating on the drafts, and is providing recommendations on how to improve it. And finally, yeah, we've put in place systems. I mean, Mike has been talking about impartiality, to really try and strengthen the impartiality of the evaluation processes. And in my sense, leadership is key here. And where we haven't had leadership in those country offices, much less has happened in a sense. What I think has also helped, and I think I have two of my evaluation colleagues from the South Asia region here, maybe they can back me up on this, but having a dedicated advisor who talks about evaluation, or who only talks about evaluation, and who goes around the region talking about this issue, I think makes quite a difference, and is able to, in a sense, engage around evaluation issues also with senior management, leadership engagement around evaluation. Capacity, of course, is a big issue within the country offices, within the PME sections is one thing, but also within the program sections. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the programs that the program sections are implementing that get evaluated. They really need to be much more involved from the beginning, from the outset. But capacity of partners is also an important issue we've, in a sense, come up against. I mean, obviously, yeah, this issue of really integrating an evaluation perspective in program planning, I think that's going to require quite a fundamental cultural change in terms of how we think about RBM, how we think about evaluation, and it's going to be a long-term process. I mean, if particularly as we start talking more and more about impact evaluation, I mean, if you don't think about it up front, forget it. So, I mean, this is really an important thing to emphasize. And finally, some of my colleagues have already talked about evaluation use. I mean, this is ultimately what it's all about. And here, yeah, we continue to have quite a lot of issues in terms of making sure that evaluations are useful on the one hand, but on the other hand are then actually used, and that we develop systems to integrate knowledge into the new programming processes and into the knowledge management systems in a way that are being developed. And I'll leave it there. Thanks.